Hey, welcome everybody to the monthly EVerest Technical Steering Committee call. So agenda highlights of this month. We had an awesome conference. The Plugfest and the conference were really busy, really amazing atmosphere. We are going to do our first ever EVerest release with a feature freeze. And we have a new EVerest admin panel, and we have a demo available on GitHub. As always, we start with the anti-trust policy. People new to the call, please read this and understand and take into account during this call. Leave it on the screen for a second. Quick summary. Please don't share anything that you're not allowed to share from your own company or of competitors that you have information of, and be nice in the call. What's new? Event recap. Yeah, as already mentioned, we organized an OCA Plugfest, so that's an event where the Open-Charge Alliance community, so the OSVP community, comes together and test charging stations against charge point backup management systems. We had 14 teams on site. The event started with a conference on Tuesday. We had 150 participants from a lot of different companies, a lot of different countries from all over the world. It was EU, US, Asia. We had 10 different speakers talking about open source for Emobility. Amazing atmosphere. Well, I loved it. And then the Plugfest itself, a lot of teams on site. We had 13 tables, so 26 teams on site. A lot of online testing as well. On site was OSP 2.0.1 only. You can really see the level of OSP 2.0 implementations increasing. We're getting way better implementations nowadays than we saw a year ago. From the conference itself, all the talks are recorded. They're on our YouTube channel, so if you want to see them, scan the QR code and you can find them there. We probably will also put the links in the show notes. Working group updates. General. We are getting way more traffic now on Zulip. So we've switched to Zulip as chat medium. That we see a lot of discussions between the developers. That does mean there's a lot less traffic on the mailing list, but that is okay. I see the community really actively discussing on Zulip. Really love that. We have a lot of weekly meetings now with a lot of in-depth discussions between the different organizations. All the calls that we now do, we try to make meeting notes. We use HackMD for that at the moment. So others can also actively make notes during calls. And then we store those calls on the Wikipedia of EVerest. So everybody that wants to read back the key decisions, the most important things discussed, those should be in the meeting notes. First working group update is cloud communication. So that's roughly me because I'm chairing the cloud communication working group. But Pete, please fill in if you have anything to add here. The joint office and the EVerest community are actively working on making easy demos for security profile 2 and 3. So if you want to do a charging station or you want to test with setting up charging profiles 2 and 3, we'll want to make this as easy as possible. So especially led by the joint office is making that possible to make that a lot easier. The first 15.11a Plug&Charge sessions over OSP 2.0.1 are now tested. With 1.6 that was already possible, but now with you can also do that with 2.0.1. A lot of work has been done, especially also by Quello on the signed meter values. So for Germany, for IGRECT, you need to be able to provide signed meter values. A lot of progress there. It's not finished yet, but yeah, we're working on that. We had some discussions in the working group on what do we do with optional requirements. So OSP has a lot of required requirements, but also a lot of optional. The decision there is that we will focus first on the required stuff, but if we're implementing something that is a low-hanging fruit and is optional, we will add that as well. But our end goal for EVerest is to also support all these optional requirements, unless they break something. There are some requirements that make things more lean, like, yeah, by the way, you can also allow this if you want to, which would break some stuff or make it less clean. Then we might not implement those in the future, because we have the most strict way implemented anyhow. Why break something that we've done in the correct way already? Next to this, we had a list of OSP 201 functional requirements in a Google Sheet. We weren't keeping that up to date really well. So what we now switched to is putting that list on GitHub. And then if we do a pull request on GitHub, we can also directly do a change request on that list on GitHub with all the added functional requirements, so we can keep that list better in sync. The list is there. We still need to bring it up to speed with the current state of development. That's something that's going to happen in the next weeks, I hope. Pete, anything to add to this this section? Or anybody else?
No, I think it's a good summary. Maybe one point, because it's a bigger work item, is the refactoring of the WebSocket interface and the change from WebSocket PP to libWebSockets that we are currently working on, which is not completely done yet, but will probably be done within the next month.
No, thanks. Any questions on the cloud communication working group? Anybody? Nope. Then the car communication working group. Anybody from here? I think Morris, maybe you are in that working group.
Sure. If you want me to say a few words to this, I missed the last meeting, but anyway. So the JavaScript EVManager is almost finished. There's a pull request active for that. This will be for a better EV simulator, better than the one we currently have. The libCHAdeMO is the skeleton is finished, so there's still some work on the licensing for that, and then the licensing also obviously regarding the specification and opening this up with this open source. So the Linux Foundation is looking into that, but that is probably soon going to be in alpha state for testing. We're in FC-V2G, we're replacing OpenV2G with EVerest's own protocol, codec, the libCBV2G made by the CBXUgen. So most of it is working in the SIL, or it's not really tested as thoroughly as it has been with other content. So we want to be real sure before we drop the OpenV2G part from that. Some other integrations of that new codec are also happening with other companies and in EVerest, obviously in the -20 branch. And there is also work on the lib EV ISO15118 for an EV implementation where that's also being used. We're still looking for some help with the libCBV2G, for example, integrating the unit tests.
Okay. Thanks for the update. Yeah, and I'm personally actively working on getting LFE and CHAdeMO to talk. It seems hard to set up a meeting between them and us with all the different time zones, but hopefully we can clarify this quite soon. Anybody, anything to add to car communication or any questions on this? Oh, hey, Dan Morris, thanks. EVerest Framework and Tools. Anybody here involved in that? Guy, do you know that? Or?
Yeah, sure. Mostly it's been a nice presentation from Andreas about how the EVer framework in EVerest works, and yeah, what kinds of functionality will be added in the upcoming weeks. I think, like, just some refactoring to make it easier to use, and then the addition of vendor errors and vendor warnings, and how this will be then be able to integrate it with OCPP as well. And it is a bit of a need to be able to trace back where errors came from. I think this is also something that will be addressed in the near future.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks for the update. Anybody anything to add to this? Nope. And thanks, Kai. That brings us to the EVerest admin panel. Lucas?
Yeah, I actually added a little video demo there, so maybe you can press on play. So as you can see, we now have it hosted on GitHub Pages. You can just click on the link, then you can try it there as well. If you don't have it, you can add your local host instance, for example, or you can use the simulator /mock. We now have a search, as you can see. You can search the modules, and when you have your module there, you can configure it. As before, you can change your screen layout. That was a problem before as well. And when you connect things, it automatically only suggests modules on the left side which are actually compatible to that. So that is pretty nice. I made the design a bit more consistent, developed a little preview, which you can use to show the config right in the admin panel. And there you see the simulator in use. It basically mocks as if you had an EVerest instance there. So quite a few improvements and actually bug fixes a lot. So I hope that now the admin panel can actually be used practically in development or when you're doing stuff to test things out. I still have a few ideas which I could do, but I would like to encourage you to test it out, how the new version is working. I think it's currently not yet bundled with EVerest Core, but it will be pretty soon. You can always just test it via the GitHub Pages hosted version there, and then write a few issues if you stumble over a few bugs or have ideas what we can do better.
Thanks. Amazing that we can now run into GitHub. It's easy for somebody to just like play around and see the configuration and get it configured the way they want to without having to run EVerest. That's really nice. Yeah,
exactly.
cool.
That's
cool.
the idea.
Anybody anything to add here? No. Hey, then thanks, Lucas. Next slide. Yeah, this is basically what you already told. All the stuff that's happened. So yeah, go ahead, play around and try this out. And if you find issues or improvements, please post a GitHub issue. CI/CD and testing. The goal was just before this. I'm not sure who was involved here. Kai, Andreas, Piet, who was there? None of you.
Please,
Hi.
Andreas, if you want, you can you can take over.
Oh, yeah.
Or I can do it. No problem.
Yeah, then go.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is just basically a recap of the last couple of weeks and months. So there's now an FAQ on how unit testing and integration testing can be done. That is on our documentation on EVerest GitHub.io. And yeah, I think most of this has already been discussed in the last TSC. So we have Rust testing, and in general, yeah, there's lots of continuous discussions about testing and errors going on in that working group.
Thanks. Then next on our agenda is the plan was to have a PKI test event at NREL in the US, sponsored by the Joint Office. Is there somebody from the Joint Office, Peter? No. Nobody from the joint office here at the moment. This now turned into a virtual workshop because a lot of people couldn't come on site. Really focus on PKI, testing it out, and we will have the opportunity to present EVerest there as well, and gonna do end-to-end testing and showcasing PKI. So yeah, if you're able to join, please feel free to join. Might be a nice event to learn more about Plug&Charge and the PKI involved that are trying to set up now and that are actively working on setting up in the US. Then the last working group is the general discussion and Q&A. So we have once a week a general call where everybody can just come in and answer questions or any topics that aren't covered by the other working groups. Our chair has been taken over by Yannick. We are discussing the sign meter values has been discussed there as well, because that topic covers a bit more than just OSPP. OSPP is involved, but this is typically a topic that covers more. So that got into the general discussions working group. Also, an ESCRA meter support has now been added to EVerest. And there is work being done actively current by one developer that is adding EVlib ISO15118. That is intended to replace the current stuff that is there. And he's developing this especially to test with ACDP, so automatic connection devices. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff also happening, which is a bit broader and more general than the specific working groups. Attendance is quite good. We still have quite some people joining this as well. Monthly release notes. Guy, so feature freeze is probably also part of this.
Yeah, pretty much. So on, like we mentioned last time, this time we did a bit of a feature freeze in front of the upcoming release. This feature freeze release candidate 1 has been released a week ago and has quite a lot of interesting things in it. Like we already mentioned, support for OSPP 201 Plug&Charge, but also a fix for the JOET driver to actually work with the most recent BSP refactoring from earlier this year, as well as a new firmware image there. This integration of this UK random delays feature, and some general improvements here or there. The second release candidate with fixes will hopefully be released soon as well, which mostly focuses on additional things that we noticed in the meantime, like just some general fixes here and there. We also removed some deprecate, or are planning to remove some deprecated modules that have been in the deprecated folder for quite some time now, which will allow us to drop a dependency in EVerest core as well. Hope this will be released maybe today, but could also slip until beginning of next week, depending on how much we get to merge today still. Given that it's already quite late in the day, I'm not so confident that the second release candidate will be released today. But once this is out, a few more days of additional testing, and then we will release the 2024.3 release into the wild.
I think what was also new here, that is for the first time we did a feature freeze. So 2 weeks ago, we froze basically new features coming in. We said this is going to be the set of things that we're going to add to this release. Yeah, I think it went really well to try to do this, because then otherwise it keeps being a moving target and it's hard to make a release. So I think the experience was good, I think, for this.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we knew beforehand that this might take a bit of getting used to. So I think the date actually slipped about a week to back. But I guess that's only to be expected. But I had the feeling that it got it had its intended effect, this feature freeze window.
I think it worked quite well indeed. What's next? So roadmap, yeah, no changes on the roadmap. Actively implementing 2.0.1 with the community, I would say. We hope to start looking at OSP 2.1. Charge X error codes, I think first are currently implemented. I think that's already in spec in EVerest. 15.8-20 is being implemented. I think that's also the work that Morris was talking about, is the XE codex. First Rust support is now in there. The JsEvManager library stump, yeah, it is ready. We just need to align with the JsEvManager organization. So no changes there. So also, yeah, roadmap, no real changes. A lot of stuff we want to do. Let's see, where are we at the moment? OSP 2.1 bidirectional power transfer. Yeah, that's something that we still need to start working on. Smart charging work is started for OSP 2.0.1. That's actively being working on, same as certificate management. Plug&Charge is actively worked on. I mean, that's already in the current release. So some stuff is switching around a bit. Yeah, we need to update this, I think, for the next time. 15.8-20. Maybe Moritz, anything on this? But I think we're on plan here.
Yeah, I'm not quite up to date what the implementation is there. It's still it's still a stub right now. So, but that's certainly one of the biggest workloads still to be done.
Yep. Okay. Events. So we are busy. There's a lot of events where EVerest will be presented, or people are from people in the community are active. So next week is the PKI testing event. Shankari is in the call now. You are going to be there, I think. Yeah, it's going to be virtual, so you're not on site then this time.
Yeah, so it was going to be in person, but apparently we were the only EVSE that signed up. So you know, they didn't want to have a bunch of people show up just to test against one implementation, and so now it's a virtual workshop to help define what the adversarial cases are. And I will still plan to do a virtual demo. As you know, we've been working on those, you know, Dockerized MREs, and so I'll just show off as much as we have working at that point over there. We will likely be posting some questions in the Zulip chat, because some things are not working when we're testing them, or at least we don't know how we're setting them up. But that's not important here. But yeah, I think the goal here is to just try and understand more of the non-happy path cases around PKI and make sure that they're tested.
Yeah, good thing. I will try to, because now it's online, I try to be in the meeting as well on Tuesday. Then it's the Embedded World, big embedded conference or event in Germany. I know some of my colleagues will be visiting. Then I myself will do a talk online, luckily in Australia for the Everything Open. There is a Charon event in Asia, so if somebody is there and wants to represent EVerest, let us know. We won't be there. Not at the Charon event. Marco, our CEO, is in the EVS 37. We have a paper there. We do and a poster. We do a talk. Marco is also representing the Open Charge line, so he will be at the EVS 37. Then there is a workshop in California where I think Shankari will be. Then we are organizing, so the Linux Foundation, EVerest, the Linux Foundation, Texas Instruments Joint Office, we Pionix are organizing an Open EV Charging Summit in Texas in May. So if you're interested, and if you're in the US or able to come to the US, please join us. The invite is on LinkedIn, but we can also put it in the show notes here. Then there is a Charwin Festival again in Poland, where we will be joining. Then same week I will be in Munich in Germany giving a talk on open source for EV charging at ChargeTech. And then we are already at the next Charwin Festival. Yeah, no plans yet for who's going there. We need to see if somebody is able to go there and test EVerest with real vehicles. So we will be busy in the next couple of months. Looking forward to it, to meeting the community and spreading the word of EVerest again.
So I had a question about the Open EV Charging Summit. I think I saw in the marketing materials for the Linux, the LFE that they had sent out, that there is also going to be testing there. Is that right? Have people actually signed up for that?
I'm not involved in organizing that, so I'm not sure. Let me ask that to Yannick, who is more involved there. Maybe they do something on the side. I'm not sure if that was planned, but would that be, it just mentioned testing, or is that more specific on OCP or on 5011.8 then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the testing was going to do. That was one of my questions. I just saw this in a marketing verb, so.
Yeah, I will figure that out and let you know, Shankar. Thanks for pointing that out. So, but if you want to register, scan the QR code, and there you can register for the event. That brings us to the end. Next TSC is on the 25th of April. Yeah, if you have anything in the meantime, please join the weekly calls. Go to Zulip. If you have a question, send something on the mailing list. But yeah, most general call, if you want to join, is the general call that's now moved 1 hour later. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon for Europe at least. Half an hour later also for the US, so it makes it a bit easier for the US guys to join. Yeah, sign up for the mailing list, and then you know how to find us. We have a lot of channels where we are active. Thanks for joining.